Now you may be saying, wait, DPSI, what about the semifinals? And so with that, unfortunately I have to report that semifinals did not happen because of a double forfeit due to a or not a disqualification, but one person decided to exit from the tournament, and then another couldn't play grands and had a high probability of making it to grands. So we decided to disqualify them because of that. So I'm joined here today by Zeronix and Coilus. How's it going, guys?
Hey, glad to be
Hello
here.
there. Yeah, day's been mostly fine. Waiting for this moment.
Yeah, I really enjoyed commentating yesterday's match. Can't wait to see what we have here today.
Yeah, we should have a good one, considering it's the finals.
Yep, I'm excited.
So, I hear we have Quququ versus Hamplmann. Both of them pretty good players, I hear.
Yeah, I don't recognize the names themselves, but they do seem to have a really high heat rating, both of them.
Yeah, so we actually got to. So Coilus, you were here last night for the Hamplmann match, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so that was a very exciting match. Unfortunately, it seems that the VOD is lost to the sands of time, but but we do have the replay, so I think that I will be uploading an analysis of the replay just so you can see the ending state, which has a very clever attack to prevent an HQ cap. So like it was an HQ rush. Both players were going for the HQ, and yeah, it was very sketchy. But yeah, Max versus Lash. The Max won the HQ rush, so that's kind of unusual.
Yeah, I think it was ultimately well, one of the players ran out of time, right? So
it's not a Max won the HQ rush is not a sentence I hear very often.
Yeah, right. With no artillery, it's hard to really clamp down on the area around the HQ. But yeah, it was Siege of Jerusalem, which has very exposed HQs, and I really hope we get to see that map more in competitive live play, because yeah, the games you get to see on it are pretty exciting. So speaking of maps, Chris, if you want to cut away to Scorpion Operation for a sec, we can take a look at that one, which is what we're going to be playing on here for Grand Finals.
alright, let's open that one up. So that map is an oldie and a goldie, to put it that way.
This has been in League before. It's like over 10 years old at this point. It's been in League multiple times. It was around when I first started playing like 5 years ago. And,
Yeah, apparently it was first published in 2009. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. So it's definitely stood the test of time.
That sounds like a good map to have a final on.
Yep. What tier are we playing, by the way?
So the whole tournament is Tier 2.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Specifically, like more precisely, it's Tier 2 with everybody below Tier 2 available, including Flak and Jugger, which we've seen a little bit of this tournament.
Nice.
Those are some brave picks.
Well, it's like if you think Nell is tier 0 and like Flak and Jugger are maybe slightly worse than Nell, then you kind of understand why people pick Flak and Jugger. But I don't think they're tier 2, if I'm being honest. I think they're tier 3, perhaps. Maybe a bit better, but yeah. Interesting picks on this map, to be sure.
Yeah, slightly worse than Nell is that I'd call that an understatement, but
Yeah.
you know, I'll trust
It
your
is an
judgment.
understatement.
You're the better player, so you know I'll
No,
take your judgment on
if
take
you,
your word
if
on
you
that.
thought that way, then you might pick them in tier 2, but I don't think that.
Right. I'd also
The
say
light
they
of
are
reasoning.
quite a bit worse than Nell.
Actually, in the flat game, there was a great moment where I think he had 4 high roll one shots in a row.
Wow.
that opened up a hole that allowed him to like really do a lot of damage.
Yeah, sometimes that happens when you're running with a Luxio. But yeah, speaking of COs, what do you think we can expect on this map?
It looks like Eagle with a side of Sammy.
Sorry?
Or maybe it's the other way around. It looks like Eagle and Sammy will be strong picks on this map. But just looking at the funding, it's, I want to say, hold on while it loads. It's gonna be 19,000 gold per side, assuming even funding split. So that's in the comfortable range for Eagle to produce like 2 vehicles a turn. Then again, there are, and you know, the airport, I mean, the mountains kind of make air units stronger than usual because they kind of just ignore all the terrain on this map.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then again, the mountains are also great for Sammy because she enjoys having solid places to park her infantry and her mechs. And like maybe it's not that easy to go for the direct HQ attack, but she also does enjoy like all the contested cities that are near mountains, so she can always be threatening to capture those with her super seal power, or even just her day to day. So you will enjoy all those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Sammy being a good pick on this map. It's as well as Eagle, as you mentioned, considering the map tends to be a bit choky in places, so it's easier to just call it out, which is good for Eagle.
So really quick here, the game just went live and the link is in the chat, so you guys check that out.
Oh.
And we can cut over to the game here, Chris, and we'll get going.
Oh, nice. So we are seeing an Eagle mirror. Okay.
Mirror. Yeah, that makes sense. Both of them must have had the exact same reasoning then.
Yeah, like Sammy is less beginner friendly than Eagle is, but so it does make sense that they would both pick Eagle on this map.
Yeah, seems like a solid pick, especially since Max might have issues here considering he doesn't get artillery, and those tend to be pretty decent on this map.
Right. So we are seeing like a mirror opening so far. They're doing the exact same things on both sides. There is some room for deviation in the coming few turns. Will be interesting to see how long the mirror continues. Both players making their moves very quickly. Both have a solid grasp of what they want to do. I find it interesting that they're delaying the airport, though I guess it does make sense because the side capture chains are longer than the center ones, so they do want to be getting the side properties first.
Right, and I wouldn't say that the airport is all that high of a priority to begin with.
Right, because it might be a few turns until you want to start making air units anyway.
It looks like actually. Oh, sorry. Go right on ahead.
I was gonna say like there are interesting strats revolving around early T-copter on this map.
Really?
And sometimes, yeah, it's kind of useful to do that sometimes, because it helps you get the far away properties more easily and stuff like that. And it's also it's better than an APC because it doesn't cost the base build. You can still build infantry with it, and it's like right next to the base also. But anyway.
And a T-copter would also be able to get past those mountain ranges pretty easily.
Right. But I think we're not going to see any of that this game.
Doesn't look like it, but I can see what you mean.
So I was just going to remark, it looks like, I'm not sure how easy it is to see on stream, but 5-9 and its mirror property 9-19-4, the city with the two mountains adjacent to it, is possible to get with the safely by both near bases, but it actually looks like Black Hole is not going for that free property. going for the capture there. That property is a pain in the butt to capture and hold sometimes. So being able to secure it early can be pretty useful.
Right. So that's what Cobalt Ice is going for here. They're trying to aggressively cap that property and maybe hold on to it later on with like an RD or something. And that one property is actually one of the more ones to get on this map. So I do like that they went for it early on, like giving up the more natural looking capture chain to kind of get that early. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, same. Otherwise, Black Hole might have had an easy time preventing the cap.
Yeah, and actually, if the one base side for Black Hole would have permuted their city captures, going for the if Black Hole would have captured left first, then the city snipe in the corner city wouldn't have worked out so well. Or at the very least, it could have been interrupted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, on the other side, considering that Black Hole isn't going for that city yet, or like, we're gonna see whether we can actually get it.
That's true. I mean, sometimes it's okay to do that because they're giving up, some sort of economic advantage to get that contested city first. But there's all these other, uncontested cities that haven't been captured yet. So the economics might put Black Hole ahead for several turns in the following turns, if it works out that way. Oh, so we do see the first vehicle build of the game though.
On the lone base.
Yes. Normally, it's not a great idea to do that, in my opinion, if you're not forced to, because it reduces the amount of infantry you have and makes your capture phase a bit more difficult. But in this case, I think it's fine because probably what Cobalt Ice is doing is he's going to try to harass the center infantry. So he's going to get probably going to get a free shot.
Significantly closer to the middle than the other two would be, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Probably gonna get a few free shots off, or at least one.
And in response, Hamplmann builds his tank all the way on the left.
Okay, so it does make sense to be building tanks on your strong side. And I think what Hamplmann might try to do is just use a B-copter to counter the center tank. So it will be interesting to see whether Quququ kind of tries to preempt that with his own anti-air build right now.
Yeah, that would be a reasonable build. Either that, or he can go for his own copter first.
Oh, that's true. He does have enough money for it. And the copter could have the flexibility of going against the tank also. I actually like the line that you described. Oh, actually he's gonna go for the side. Okay, interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting because I'm not sure what the side tank is going to accomplish here.
No, it's not gonna have an easy time harassing the caps there, considering that there's already a tank to defend them.
Right. And, this move is kind of losing Cobalt Ice some tempo because it's making the tank that Hamplmann built better because now that tank actually has something to do. Whereas previously it was just kind of not really doing anything in the corner, and you could just ignore it for a few turns. But now it's going to be a better piece than it was previously.
Well, if nothing else, the tank sending the tank left forces the front line a little bit further away. So at least he's got that.
That's true. I think what might be happening is that Quququ wants to try to secure that city on the left that his tank is going to cover on the next turn. He's going to try to get it, perhaps. But I don't think it will really work out for him if Hamplmann just continues to reinforce the left side.
That being said, we did see the copter, so could be sending that either down the middle or left again in order to contest the black hole tank.
Oh yeah, okay,
And
so
the
we are seeing a
counter
counter build, yeah, counter build. It's a good principle, just um, as Eagle.
Yeah, that seems
Uh,
like a good enough way to fight these copters, especially on this map.
Yeah, I was gonna say on this map especially, it takes quite a few anti-air to like saturate all the fronts. Whereas like if you match B-copter for B-copter early on, you don't have to spam out quite as many anti-air just to cover for one or two B-copters.
Yeah, exactly. So what can be really good is if you mix up your air defenses, like you have anti-air covering. If the B-copter runs away to the other side, then you cover that side with your own B-copter, because then it's more flexible. Your B-copter is not just covering air, but it's also has the potential to cover tanks and things like that.
Right, and then the anti-air can be more dedicated anti-air defense, as the name implies.
So it does look like QQQ is ahead in the capture phase for now.
Slightly.
Slightly ahead, yeah. It's mainly because they rushed out that one city, so Hamplmann is not going to be able to get it on their side now, or it's going to be really difficult because it is the opponent's strong side, and QQQ looks like they might even be trying to get it for themselves. So
Yeah, there's a good chance he will get it at this point.
mhm.
So, I wonder where he's going to be sending that copter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like the best position would be maybe just move it up into the center, just out of range of the enemy copter. Like if he moves it four up and one to the left, it would be a good center position that prevents the enemy copter from really going anywhere, and it can get to both sides in a reasonable time. So you
Yeah,
can have
basically deny a lot of terrain for the enemy battle copter.
right, and you don't commit as early which side you're going to go to. So now that he's kind of committed to the left, Hamplmann can kind of commit to going to the right and then cover the left with an anti-air. Um, yeah,
Right. Well, if Hamplmann ends up sending his copter to the right, that means he might actually still be able to get that mountain city.
true. And QQQ doesn't really have a way of stopping it either if the copter goes right. So, oh wait, what? Oh, okay,
He's
he's
got
probably
hot
gonna.
copter build, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, makes sense. Trying to bully the blue copter out of there.
I just don't see the point of this, to be honest. I mean, I see what he's going for, but I don't agree with the play. But it's okay.
The kind of dangerous thing about that attack is you can, well, I don't know if it's dangerous, but you can get into like a B-copter trading war because the blue copter can attack from below the black hole copter and then reinforce with another airport B-copter.
But and then
So,
it becomes like really tactical because at any point you could just use an infantry shield to stop the trading war and
Well,
get it that
one
way.
one thing to keep in mind is that this black hole copter is in range to attack whatever copter is being built on the airport. So
Right.
so
And that
he might be attempting to well to prevent further battlecopter purchases.
sure, but um, yeah, I'll avoid disparaging too much. I want to see what the follow-up is because that's more important. It's an infantry positioning here. Uh, some might say too aggressive. Because it is within like 1 day's move of the enemy base.
I don't think this position is quite too dangerous yet. It's a lot of infantry in the middle.
That's true. But it's like you could hit one of those infantry with a B-copter and have an anti-air be, immediately in position to defend it.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
So far, it's looking pretty even though. Like positionally, I feel that Hamplmann has the better comp right now, but it could easily change once Quququ starts making anti-air. A rule of thumb that I generally try to follow is to not have more copters than tanks, because copters just get destroyed by anti-air.
Right. So by having many copters, you're just rewarding anti-air builds. So without the
Right.
tanks to actually threaten those. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, as I said, it depends on the follower. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
One thing that I liked about the way that Hamplmann moved that turn was he sort of left the B-copter exposed until his last two moves, and then I think that maybe that wasted some of Ququq's time thinking about the B-copter attack, when in reality it was never an option.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, it's still technically an option. It would just probably be a bad option.
Oh wait, that's true. Yeah, you can hit the killing infantry that way.
Yeah, interesting to think about that sort of
Yeah,
a feint basically to make someone waste time, and perhaps if he was considering that line of attack, now he's gonna have to spend more time reconsidering it.
right. It is, a factor considering this is a live game with limited time. So any time you can force your opponent to burn is useful. I don't really like this copter move. It feels too passive.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be doing much in this position.
Right.
Like it covers the airport at the very least, I guess, but
But it's like a defensive copter, which is less good than an offensive copter.
So, I see. The artillery blocks the counter hits from the tank. Okay, I was about to say that a double attack here would be pretty bad, but
Yeah.
yeah, with the artillery in range, everything's copacetic.
So Quququ looks like they're just going to just going to pull back and defend. That makes sense. Like it's your weak side. You don't want to overextend. But I do think there was room for them to be more aggressive on that side.
yeah, I agree.
Considering like they have more vehicles at the moment.
Yeah, currently it looks like Hamplmann might have a pretty good position to open fire on the infantry in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you could just hit it with a B-copter and there's nothing defending that.
Exactly.
I kind of would have liked to. I don't know if you guys already said this, but I kind of would have liked to see an anti-air from the lone base there.
Yeah, I was about to say that because anti-air really punishes the double copter build. Like and it's going to be really hard for Hamplmann to counter it quickly. So would have loved to see an anti-air as well.
Hamplmann is sitting at a beautiful 21k, so that means he has the option of going 3 tanks if he's all right with allowing Quququ to possibly go 1 up on B-copters.
Right, that's
I don't
it.
see the point of 3 tanks though. Like
That's true.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. It might not be very good.
He has the option anyway.
yeah, I would like to see a tank, RD, and AA.
Yeah, right. Same money, and that's a little more. It makes more sense with the game state.
Right.
And we're
Wow,
now looking at the
he's
first
going in a
attack.
lot. Wow, it's really impressive. I mean,
I actually kind of like this play, just sort of brute forcing a move here on the middle. Like, Quququ doesn't really have the means to respond to this.
that's true. He has more infantry there for now, and well, I think the attack on the infantry on the city was questionable, but that first attack was definitely very solid.
Yeah, I can see that. But he's definitely going all in, so I can see his thinking anyway.
Mm-hmm. Nice use of formation here to block, uh, infantry in the line, makes them all kind of invulnerable to be into a KO. And yeah,
This is very aggressive.
it is kind of taking advantage of the fact that most of QQQ's infantry are like trapped on the right side, so they haven't had the chance to
Exactly.
come. Yeah.
Those can't really do much for the middle at the moment, and they're. It's kind of a strange. His formation is kind of strange in that most of his power is secured on the left, with the tank and the artillery. But then there's a whole bunch of infantry coming up on the right, but they don't seem to be doing much yet.
Wow. Okay, really going for the the copter spam here. Yeah, and I agree with what you said. Like, the left feels like it has too many vehicles to like the tank and the copter are not really doing anything. You could just have the RD there, and the right side feels like it has too few vehicles for QQQ because you would really want the extra firepower to help with this fight that's going down in the center.
Right.
So, okay, so it does build an anti-air now. Uh,
And that anti-air is mostly going to be defending the left, further blocking out any uses for the copter.
That's true. So I think Hamplmann is just his strategy is just going to be try to secure the left side. But Quququ actually did a great job here of like he has the RD already positioned defensively. It's not going to be very easy to push past that. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, with that attack on the middle, though, I can't help but feel like he's basically trying to choke Quququ out of options, really, because he can't really do much himself either.
right. I feel that Ququq just has to engage here and take advantage of the fact that his base and his airport are closer, and then maybe you could push Hamplmann back in the center. But
That's
if
an option.
Hamplmann, yeah, if
But
QQQ
it's
just
going to be
retreats
bloody.
in, yeah, and if QQQ just retreats here, I feel like he would have lost a lot of ground.
Wait, was that a visual bug or was that an 8-7 split on an infantry on a city?
I did see the 8-7 split. I guess it's a min roll on the attack, and because it can, yeah, like 39% or 38%.
Bummer.
Yeah, should have been a low roll, I imagine, considering
Mhm.
there's no tower on this map.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, like what's happening here?
Well, he's definitely engaging.
I want to see what he does in the two copters though, because that's the important part of this turn.
Right.
Yeah, so build
They
an
are seeing the
anti-air.
anti.
Yeah, and I feel like you should just send both copters to attack infantry in the center and back it up with your own anti-air and copter, and it'll be pretty golden for the next turn.
Yeah, I think I agree.
So what we might see here is Hamplmann might just pull back in the center and then shift the copters to the right side on this next turn to deal with all that swarm of infantry that's coming up.
The only thing that Quququ has to look out for in this, if he decides to go in with his B-copters, is he has to make sure that he doesn't get body blocked by all those infantry. But I think if he puts the B-copters side by side, it'll be all right.
No, I don't think so. I think you should just use both of them to attack that B-copter on the silo.
Oh, you mean the infantry on the silo? Yeah, that would
be. Sorry, the infantry on the silo.
Both in range of the anti-air. Yeah, no room for shenanigans.
That's what he's gonna be doing.
Right, and what you could probably do here is build a third copter to defend. Then you won't be overloaded by 2 copter attacks.
Yeah, I think that's a good. It's especially in live. It's like a safe move, no shenanigans.
Right. So actually, just a small optimization. That infantry that got the 7-5 split, it should actually have attacked from the forest, and the formation would be better, and you would probably have gotten a better split.
Right. So then he is building that third copter over there, as discussed.
I wonder what he's gonna try to do with the tank and the RD on the left, though. Looks like he's just gonna pull back and abandon that. Okay, so now shifting to a central push instead. Okay, interesting. I personally feel like he could have just kept the RD there. Would have been really annoying for Hamplmann to deal with.
Right.
Because it's really well defended.
Like moving around that artillery, just currently it's in a position where it can't really do much, so...
Yeah, and well, I guess you could just move it back next turn, so you might be trying to fake out the opponent in that sense.
That's possible, I suppose. I'm not sure I would agree with that line of thinking, but... Right, and if we're now going to see Hamplmann moving most of his infantry down there, he doesn't really have a well-established front anymore.
True. Yeah. So Hamplmann probably gonna look. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I figured would happen. Hamplmann is just gonna redirect the copters to the right side and shut down this infantry push that Quququ is doing. So Quququ actually is doing a good job of taking territory, and it looks like they're just gonna be trading armies on both sides.
Right.
And gets the disruption, which is nice. I don't think. Oh, actually, this could matter because that copter could get the follow-up disruption. It's in range, and so it might prevent the capture altogether.
Yeah, seems like it, considering Quququ doesn't have even any anti-air build on that side is going to need at least a turn to get in position to threaten the copters.
Right, yeah, exactly. And what I would like to see here is maybe 2 RTs and 1 tank to deal with the anti-air, as well as just take general control of the 2 fronts.
Right.
Yeah, the 2 RDs especially kind of lines up with Hamplmann's small unit count lead, which looks like it'll probably grow on the right in the next turn or two.
There's the full retreat. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense. He
nice.
wasn't really going to be pushing any further there.
Yeah.
So I
wonder
think
if the
that
second one-
I was gonna say I think that the 5 HP infantry repair when you're at a 000 ending digit on your total gold would drive Voice of Akasha crazy.
Yeah, he has stated on occasion that people repair too much, right?
Yeah, he did say that.
I can see why you're essentially losing 1,000 funds if you're at this at lit funds.
Yeah. So I think what's gonna happen? Oh, okay. What's probably gonna happen here is Hamplmann's gonna get a fourth copter. Likely what we're gonna see. Yeah, I do like the use of infantry to screen out one of the copters. Not that it matters a lot.
Not that much, but tiny. It's these tiny decisions that might influence what someone else does.
Yeah. I also want to point out Hamplmann is actually slightly ahead on unit value um, if you sort of think that he should be, about 9,000 ahead, he's actually more than 9,000 ahead. So he's slightly ahead, but Quququ has the econ lead, so that might change in the following turns. So actually, though, yeah.
It's only a really slight lead, though.
Yeah.
And he actually is going to have to really. Quququ is really going to have to work to keep that lower left corner city, or not the far lower left corner city, but the mountain city.
Yeah.
He'll need to position his artillery pretty carefully in order to keep infantry from capping that.
You could just do the simple thing of move it to 3 squares below that city and it'd be safe.
Huh.
So it looks like Quququ is going to try to force through the capture. Oh yeah, it's probably going to work because Hamplmann doesn't have enough. He can't deal with the chunk blockers. So it might have been a good idea to divert one more copter over there to get a stronger harass. But oh well.
Right. Well, at the very least, he will still be able to get a shot off with that copter, even if he can't necessarily prevent the cap.
Yeah. I do want to say it does look like Hamplmann will be looks like Hamplmann will be able to get that neutral city on the right side. So that the one that Quququ rushed initially. So it looks like Hamplmann is gonna be able to get that for himself also. In my mind, this kind of means that he successfully refuted the rush in a small way.
Yeah, and once he gets that, they're going to be equal on funding. So also the artillery is moving back to the left. So
yeah, I mean I figured because there's nothing for it to hit in the center. It's all copters and infantry. So it doesn't make sense for it to be anywhere except on the left.
and that makes me question whether it was a good idea to move it towards the center in the first place.
Yeah, because it did give up some territorial control on the previous turn by moving it. I mean, it can be good sometimes. Like if you anticipate that your artillery might be needed elsewhere and it's not needed on the next turn, you could just move it and have the flexibility of moving it away or just moving it back. But in this case, I didn't think it really made sense.
Right, and at least it's back into position to defend the city from being capped by Hamplmann.
So yeah. So Quququ gonna go for second already on the left. I think that's too many RDs, considering that Hamplmann doesn't have that many vehicles. Would have liked to see more tanks instead, uh, to counter the tank and the AA.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
And like, you see how he's using his AA to kind of block for the RT. It's actually better to let a tank do that, because the AA wants to be hunting down enemy air units instead, not like just sitting around blocking.
Right. Well, we are seeing the copters slightly moving to the right here. Not like they have anywhere else to go, so that this was expected, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't like this a lot because the copters are moving directly into where Hamplmann already has his AA. So it feels like the opposite place of where they should be trying to go. But I guess, and like, I feel like Quququ could have tried to set up an attack on the left where he has more power, and
Right.
maybe take back some of the cities that Hamplmann is capturing.
It's minor, but I would say at this point that Hamplmann has a kind of a positional advantage in that is that Quququ's copters can't really go anywhere safely anymore at this point.
True, true. Like, yeah. So Hamplmann is just taking good advantage of his opponent's, say, deficiency in the army composition and just punishing it very hard by having, two anti-airs that zone out the three opponent battlecopters.
Exactly. Yeah, we're seeing surprisingly little tanks.
Yeah, I really figured that there would be more um, tanks by Quququ to respond to these anti-air, but I guess not yet.
Yeah, we're seeing the results of that
Oh
now.
wow, that's a really bold attack here.
Indeed.
That
It
just
is covered by
doesn't.
the anti-air, so it's not necessarily a bad move, I don't think.
I feel that this will not end well for Hamplmann because it's too close to the enemy base and the enemy aircraft. Like, uh, I feel this is just gonna get punished very hard.
Quite possibly. It's in line with what he was trying to do. He does seem to want to push down the middle whenever Quququ gives him the opportunity.
Right. Oh, we'll see if it works. I'm a bit skeptical, but we'll see, I guess.
Oh, I can
Because
see why.
and like the bigger problem is that Hamplmann's army on the left is completely cut off from where he's trying to attack. So that tank and that anti-air won't be able to help out at all. You're just gonna be
That's true.
spectators. And it's not as if Hamplmann got a really strong attack on this turn. He got one infantry, which is
Right.
the
He's mostly just trying to force control over the middle on some level, but it.
wow. Okay, that is
Yeah,
all right. I guess we are seeing massive trades go down. Okay,
indeed.
so yeah, wow.
Yeah, this is like
This,
the classic example of I have more units, so I can take slightly worse trades.
well, I feel that this might be too extreme though, even for that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how DP goes. Do you think the
This
artillery
seems
just goes
very
into the?
punishable.
Oh, I guess
It,
the
it,
artillery one shots the anti-air. Well, let me see.
I think so, and yeah. Well, actually, it might not.
It's
It
a coin
depends on.
flip.
It's a
Yeah.
roll. Yeah, it's a roll. With that NTR being at 8, I want to guess that internally it's around 73, 74. So the RD has maybe a 50% chance to one-shot it. But if he does, if it doesn't work out, that infantry can just finish it off. So
So actually, the
Yeah.
counterattack damage onto the 8 HP infantry, it was 27 to 32. So it's actually a favorable roll for the RD one hit KO.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yep. And you actually have an infantry follow up from the right if you really need it.
Mhm. Right.
The anti-air is probably going to go down one way or another.
Mhm.
And yeah, the copter's getting its free shot while it still can.
Yeah. It makes sense. Okay, there's actually a nice subtlety that Hamplmann did there. He used the 3 HP infantry to kind of block the 9 HP infantry. So now it kind of delays Quququ from capturing the top right city for 1 turn. That 9
Yeah,
HP infantry physically can't reach that.
that's a pretty good usage of a low HP infantry right there.
Right, and you couldn't even sack it to delay the capture either, because Quququ joined a new infantry, so it wouldn't have done anything.
So I wonder if we're now going to see a tank build on the right to counter that anti-air. If he doesn't, I imagine that he'll be losing the upper front.
I feel like the tank build makes more sense on the left, because, or actually, Quququ is gonna have a lot of money this turn, so you could get tanks on both sides, and even a copter, like 2 tanks and 1 copter, has enough money for that. Or, well, no, he won't have enough money for that after the repairs.
No, 60,000 isn't quite enough for that.
I mean, that's Hamplmann. Oh, you're talking about Hamplmann. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, sure. So yeah, tank definitely makes sense. More tanks to deal with like uh, enemy tanks, RDs and NTR. NTR is the big thing. So I will say, these early trades, they may not end up mattering a lot, because in the Eagle versus Eagle mirror, the real, like, how the game is actually decided is who gets to Super CO power first. You can sacrifice units to get it. Then if you get it first, you can just have a devastating strike that kills your opponent. And even if you're slightly behind before that, it doesn't matter a lot. So that might
I
be
can see
something
what you're
along the
saying.
lines of, yeah, it might be like close to what Quququ is trying to accomplish here.
The other Eagle Mirror thing that I see near the end of the game is if both Eagles get near enough to Super CO power, then you like sacrifice units to try to get it first. Or
Right.
Yeah, that's a very common tactic.
or when
That's really
both
common, yeah.
or when both have it, then it becomes like a massive staring fest. And it's like, I mean, even when you have a turn timer to like think about your turn for as long as you need to, it can take 30 minutes to an hour to come up with a good move.
So, we talk about this like it's like really far in the future, but if things go down the way I think they will, we could even see it next turn, perhaps. There's like a ton of trading in the center. I guess next turn would be too early for you to really get any use out of it, right?
Yeah, too much stuff is going to die to charge it in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, keep trading and it's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah. So Quququ,
We're seeing the punish here.
yeah. So I do like the spirit of this punish. So now he has to follow up correctly by producing anti-air and um, maybe a copter. The copter is not so important, I guess.
Right, the anti-air should be the most important one here, considering it's going to cover both of the copters.
Yeah, and an extra copter wouldn't hurt. So a really good thing that you could do would be to cover both copters with this RT. Then you could punish the enemy anti-air for trying to attack either of them, and then your own copters would be a lot more free after that.
Right.
And you can see like kind of Ququq's 6 health anti-air is sort of covering the copters. It covers the copters from one side or two sides, so that's going to help out as well.
Yeah, I can see that. Even a 6 HP anti-air deals meaningful damage to copters.
So Ququq going very heavy with the counter attack here, and I actually do like it because there's not a lot Hamplmann can do to prevent this.
Yeah, I agree that it's interesting to see them struggling for the middle like this.
Mm-hmm. It is like normally it's really hard to attack in the middle because of you get stalled out, and none of the cities are particularly easy to attack because they're all easy to defend. Rather,
Right.
so I will say, Ququq has regained sort of the economic lead as well as the temporary army value lead. The next few turns will be very important in determining how the rest of the game plays out in either case.
Right, and his position on the left is also he doesn't have a lot of units on the lower front, but the position is pretty strong.
Yeah, the entrenched RD is doing a lot. It's doing a lot of work, and he has the advantage that the fighting is really near to his base. So, okay. I'm
Artillery
not
also
sure about this. Okay, so this might let Hamplmann get a very strong punish in the center, because now he might win the trades actually.
Right, yeah.
Do you think the tank from the left base could have salvaged it?
You mean in combination with moving the RD to the left?
Yeah.
Well, possibly, but I just don't really agree with the move in general to move the RD to the left.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I mean, the counter hit on the anti-air is just so important when there's this many B copters around.
Yeah, it's like right, because it gets you one entire now, and it saves you one of your B copters in the future or more. Yeah. Maybe it's still alright because, like I said, Ququq does have that extra 6 HP and anti-air looking at the left, looking at the right side, so it might not be that bad. And he does have a fair number of infantry that are in the way, so it might not be that good for Hamplmann to really attack too strong here.
I'm also getting the impression that Hamplmann is that his upper front's looking rather flimsy at the moment, and the vehicles are coming in there.
Right. So if I had to say, I think Hamplmann has been really aggressive throughout the game, but Ququq has also been aggressive, but has not been so reckless. Right? There's a difference, and I think Ququq is slowly pulling ahead in all the intense trading that's going on here, because he takes the good trades but doesn't take the bad trades.
Right, that you notice that in the army value.
And he has better use of formation and.
Did he just
like
join? Huh.
Okay, so definitely getting a really strong punish here. Taking out one B-copter, so that's already your initial investment of one B-copter gotten back. And you could even invest the second B-copter, although it would, which I would do because it kind of overloads the enemy entire bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good play. But
Yeah, I
we're getting
agree.
really close to the threshold where you have to start counting your stars for power.
Yeah, when you're trading like this, the last thing you want is a surprise. Is like you make a good attack and then there's a surprise Super CO power in response, and it just ruins your day.
True, but I don't think we're there yet because
Oh yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
you yeah, it's too far away, and also if you sacrifice a lot right now, you won't have anything to actually attack with on your power.
Right. It's definitely still going to take a couple turns before they're really there. This is a very strong push down the middle at this point.
Yeah, it's a strong push if Hamplmann does the follow up to safeguard, to block out the 6 HP anti-air and also uh, yeah.
Going
Yeah, I'm not sure about this aggressive push down the left. Feels like Hamplmann is just walking up and asking to get shot at. Just feels that way.
Yeah, well, I
in line
noticed
with how he's been
actually.
playing.
Sorry, go ahead.
That does kind of look like the way he's been playing all the game. Just getting in there and essentially daring Quququ to attack him.
Really good use of blocking infantry. Like there's 2 layers of blockers now, so it's not gonna be possible for that 6 HP entire to help out. But even with that, I think um, it's gonna be an even trade in the center. Like assuming QQ gets the one free B-copter and then just disengages. Oh, interesting build of an RT. Ironically, I think this is too late to build RT because now you really want active units to make use of Super Zero power.
Right. I agree on you there. And even beyond that, I can't really see what it's going to be accomplishing right now. There's not a very strong front up to the right.
Yeah, and it's like it can be a trap in the Eagle Mirror, especially because um, it's going to become a target for your opponent to charge power for free, and or just pressure you out from 2 times their movement range. So it kind of feels like it won't be doing a lot at this point. I'm actually impressed that Hamplmann is still ahead on unit count. That push on the left side really got them a lot of profit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it is good, like Hamplmann has made a strong attack on their strong side, and yeah, it's kind of working out for them. So yeah. So I feel like this turn QQQ needs to start counting his power. Um,
Yeah, he's getting pretty close now, over halfway there.
mhm.
One, two, three, four, five, six.
I'll be counting power.
Oh, I actually like that artillery move to keep it safe instead of taking a pot shot at an infantry.
Yeah, I do think this is a
Sturdy.
better formation. Yeah, it's a good use of formation here. He is like kind of giving up that city in the bottom left though.
Yeah, that is true. then again, I think there's not a small. I think there's a non-zero probability that the game just ends when Super CO power comes out. So, and that's
Yeah.
probably coming soon enough. So, like sacrificing some units to defend a city at this point in the game may be a little less important than usual.
True. So, like this is the turn where you can start making reckless plays with your units. Like, just put them in range of enemy fire, because then if your opponent uses 2 units to pick up your 1 unit, and you use Super CO power, you can probably profit, a net total of 1 unit. But yeah, there's a lot of Quququ has to watch out for the potential sacrifices of B-copter into anti-air that could happen. Right now, it looks like it's not enough, but it could definitely be an issue on the next turn. But yeah. And like, it's not just that. You also have to do it on the turn timer while your clock is ticking down. So if this game goes long enough, could really see a really intense final, like say 10 minutes or something.
Quite possibly. Although currently they still have plenty of time, so don't have to worry just yet.
Yeah, now if they survive for a second Super CO power, then Eagle starts to look like a slightly less attractive pick. Sometimes it's just good in a live game to have a funny button that you just hit and then it snows.
click the funny button and then
Click the funny button and then move your units and then in turn.
Oh, I didn't notice, but Hamplmann actually built a mech on his previous turn.
Oh yeah. The infamous Eagle mech.
I mean, normally you think it's a bad idea because it doesn't get buffed by Super CO power, but mech is still a really efficient unit. Like it's a tank for like half the cost, so can be worthwhile to build them sometimes.
Especially on this map, it can really use its ability to move freely through rivers and mountains.
Right. So what I'm interested in here is whether Hamplmann will try to force through some captures in the center and on the bottom left. Like if he uses infantry to shield, he could force through a couple captures. Might take a lot of damage in return though. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to be going for.
Seems like it. Although I wonder how important that's going to be, considering that this game is likely going to be decided by the Super CO power, as you already mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a city.
Yeah, but it could also be a bait for your opponent to try to attack that. So, oh wow, really going in here, like, okay.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean that is a safe positioning, so can't fault that a lot.
I heard you counting out loud, Coilus, and I was doing the same thing.
What?
I heard you counting out loud, Coilus, and I was doing the same
right.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can't help but feel that Hamplmann may try to end this game before powers even become a thing.
I mean, it definitely looks like he's trying to force through that capture in the center, which is pretty good if you can get it. Would help you with economy, maybe. And like he's taking advantage of the fact that a lot of Ququ's forces are on the right side. Like 5 vehicles and all of his infantry are there, and doesn't have enough on the left side to kind of hold off this push. So
Right.
we could see Hamplmann just abandoning the top right completely and just switching everything to the center for a decisive push.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But maybe he'll just go and push down the HQ.
the HQ seems difficult to push down, but I've said that a few times and have been wrong, so it could
Well,
happen.
with this HQ, it's actually deceptively exposed. As I'm sure you can see too. It's just the issue is like you can park a unit on the airport, and then that
Oh,
blocks
that's
off
true.
the one base. And then on the right hand side, the one base side, it's hard to reinforce. I guess you can already lock your own HQ, but it's just it can get hairy pretty quick.
True,
And he's
but
getting pretty close to that, I must say.
yeah, but a point against that is, as Eagle, you naturally overcome that because you can just do a double move and save your own HQ. So I guess if that's all you do, if you're a super seal power, it's kind of a waste.
Right. I think of like recently I've noticed a lot more HQ caps, and the way I've started thinking about it is like an HQ cap is like it's a forcing move, and
Right.
sometimes the forced move is just really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. Like bringing some of that Go knowledge, it's forcing moves, a Go term.
Oh, it is okay. I
Yes,
wondered where I picked it up. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking more about
going all in the middle here.
what's the term where it's like you flip two stones and like you can't flip it twice in a row.
Isn't it a Ko?
Co, yeah. I've been thinking about battlecopter wars on this map in terms of co, where it's like you just keep exchanging until someone decides to give up the tempo. I mean,
Mhm.
you can move twice in a row, but the analogy's pretty bad.
I mean, it kind of works because like how codes are fought is you have to exchange code threats. Like you have to exchange moves that are more severe than the code in order to keep fighting the code. So once you run out of those, you have to give up the code.
Yeah, so the analogy goes somewhere, but yeah, you said it much more elegantly than I could.
Uh, like, so how is Quququ gonna deal with this actually? Because he's looking back at it, like he actually has a vehicle disadvantage in the center, and all his vehicles are kind of stuck on the right, and they can't really move easily to the center. So Hamplmann might actually get a really good HQ attack going here. Even could get a capture on it next turn. Can't imagine it feels good trying to think about how to defend this when your clock is running down. That's it, it's maybe not that bad yet because. Oh, I do notice Hamplmann kind of left one of his tanks in range of the enemy copter, but maybe that was deliberate. Like maybe it's a bait. But we
Right.
could definitely, yeah. We might definitely see some fireworks go down on this turn though.
Yeah, QQ is gonna have to make some moves here.
Right. And if he panics and he just abandons everything to save the HQ, then Hamplmann is going to take so much profit on the side and on the left side in particular.
Exactly.
Oh wow, not moving the tank to the center.
That looks like a dangerous play.
I was looking for ways to protect the airport from the anti-air, but it didn't look like there was anything.
Yeah, like that anti-air, is the anti-air that originally should have been picked off by the RD is coming back with a vengeance. So
Yeah.
Also
QQ has
QQQ.
to really. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say QQQ doesn't have the option of injuring either of the infantry that can start capping the HQ next turn.
I mean, he could injure one of them, but not the other.
Yeah, that's what I mean to say. Yep.
So it's like QQ has to really respect the ego power now because Hamplmann has double copter sacrifices into the anti-air, and like if you allow even one more thing on top of that, is Hamplmann's going to get his superpower, and he might even get it this turn if he also does a sack with sacks the anti-air into the tank. So we could definitely see lots. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's a bit too much. but we could definitely see. Oh wow, okay. So now there's also an attack by a V-copter on the tank in the top right, and that might push it to just being barely within range of Hamplmann being able to charge his power. Because there's also lots of random infantry attacks that contribute to that.
Right. Once you're getting so
Okay.
close to your power, everything starts adding up.
Yeah. So it's like, you could actually see a really explosive power this turn.
It's possible.
Mhm.
Or the other thing that I don't know if it could work, but the other idea is like quietly capture the HQ and leave Quququ with no Super CO power opportunities. But I don't. Oh, he's going for
okay,
a
wow.
B-copter.
Oh, wow. Okay, that definitely feels like you can get your Super CO power now.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can see that happening at this point, with the free kill on the.
There must be a way. I mean, it's still a bit of a stretch, but it kind of feels like there has to be enough here. So, so that central push by Hamplmann actually might win the game here in the next turn. Like, wow,
Imagine that.
amazing. And yeah, and Quququ is just kind of abandoning the left, and Hamplmann's gonna get so much stuff going there. Like, it's gonna get more captures. Might even
Right.
take down 2 additional cities. Oh, and he left the tank in range. Okay, that's definitely enough. So we probably aren't going to see Super CO power this turn.
I'd say that's pretty likely, yeah. And there's also plenty enough time for Hamplmann to think about how to do it.
Yeah.
There's ample time. Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, this is like, wow. I mean, Hamplmann could spend quite a large amount of time here just thinking about how this works. Make sure that he has. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree, and it just feels like maybe Quququ sort of panicked here and allowed all these attacks that he should have been trying to prevent. So, anyway.
Oh, so he actually captures with the city for the city. Doesn't go for the HQ, but
yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do that because you're not going to get the HQ. You already got enough out of the threat, so now you can just take the guaranteed profit. Ooh, goes for that. Okay. Well, I would have wanted to hold that in reserve while I make other more certain attacks where it's like anti-air into battlecopter, tank into tank, copter into tank, and then you can sack. Okay, but I think it'll still be enough.
Should be.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I don't know. On the flip side, if it doesn't work out, then we might just see inside here.
Hopefully not.
He's definitely gonna get explosive real fast. If Hamplmann doesn't do it, he's gonna feel it.
Yeah,
I want to see a lightning strike.
No, because now what has to happen is you have to sack one of the copters into the anti-air.
Right.
And you have to attack one of the tanks of your own tank. You have to attack one of the enemy tanks. But that by itself isn't going to be enough. It feels like because like because it's like 9,000 plus 3,500. So it feels like Hamplmann may have messed up his chance here.
Right.
Oh, that's actually so sad if he jumped the gun and lost because of that.
That would be really tragic.
Yeah, this would be the turn where I I'm willing to spend 10 minutes, just bust out the move calculator, make sure everything is planned out to perfection, and then only then do I actually start moving pieces. But like, if there's one turn in the whole game that's like that you can spend all your time on, it's this turn.
I think I agree with that. Now it's looking like he's gonna fall just short of that Super CEO power.
Yeah, it does look that way. That's too bad.
That's
Yep,
not gonna be it.
that's too bad. It happened. No, wait, he can still sack the B copter into that on the right side.
Yeah, the infantry on the right hand
Oh,
side.
right. I missed
Oh,
that.
okay, so it still works. Okay, it still works. So there was just a move that we weren't considering. Um, so that one remaining copter can fly 3 tiles to the right, and he can attack that anti-air. And that might be enough. Oh, it is enough.
got it.
Okay, so you got it. All right. Sorry, it was my bad. I miscalculated.
We just kind of missed that one.
Yeah, like we all missed that could happen. Or I missed it, and all of you also missed it. But okay, so
I
now's the
just
turn
trusted your
where.
math.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, so here's a small optimization. When you use Eagle Seal power, you should actually build before you use it, so you can move a couple extra vehicles. I
Yeah.
think it doesn't matter, and then you also get extra infantry builds out of that. But I think it doesn't matter a lot.
It probably won't matter much, but you are right in that it allows you a couple more builds like that.
Just a minor detail. But yeah, okay, so now this is gonna be completely complete destruction on the left side. Like I think everything is gonna get wiped out, just completely, or take extremely heavy damage.
That seems likely. I doubt Quququ will have many units left to even use his power with.
Yep. Oh, that's so sad that the tank survived. Oh, that's actually huge though.
Oh yeah, that's an artillery that doesn't die.
Or it doesn't get crippled. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I mean to say.
yeah, that's too bad. But overall, still a really good turn. So with that, Ququq might actually not be completely out of the game just yet, but it still is really bad for him. Like um, he has to make magic happen on this next turn, or he's gonna lose.
Right.
Well, you could do so. The artillery on the far left for blue does have two good targets.
Yeah,
The tank, well, it can smash into the full HP tank, one of the full HP tanks above it. The artillery can two-shot the 7 HP tank.
it's not enough. Feels like.
Yeah, but you can build and make a new tank to hit another tank.
So, I will say, yeah.
Now go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, okay. All right. I will say, like, Hamplmann did a really good job of, forcing Ququq, or well, inducing Ququq to split their army in half, which is something you probably usually never want to do as Eagle, and then uniting their army at the critical moment to get a sort of a gank or a 2v1 attack
Right.
on Ququq. So this looks really bad for Ququq. No question about that.
I was about to say that. Even though he can, as you said, you build a tank on the base and then strike with that as well, I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish much with it, all things considered.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at this point, Ququq's right front consists of mostly infantry, so those aren't going to do much with the superpower. And
Actually, a B-copter from the blue airport gets 2. Oh, sorry, no, it only gets 1 hit.
Yeah, I only gets 1 hit.
Yeah, that's right.
So
The tank on the right can get a shot on the anti-air. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm not convinced the game's over yet.
it's not over, but it does look quite bad. Like
Yeah.
QQ has to be really good with execution here because he has to make up. Well, I guess he doesn't actually have to make up that much. Hmm. Like he's down 30K or so. So he has to kill like 4 vehicles on this turn to make it back to being even. But Hamplmann is also getting a lot of extra gravy with. Oh, that's not true because QQ is doing the mirror on the top right. So yeah, it might actually be still kind of relatively even, all things considered. But yeah, definitely sparks. Definitely depends a lot on optimal execution here by Quququ.
right. That total silence as we are watching with it, with anticipation for the turn.
Yeah, because it's really important to. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sure.
Just all calculating.
Okay, that feels like a waste of the first tank attack.
Yeah, I would have liked to see it hit the tank immediately below the artillery.
Mhm.
Or actually, could it have hit the artillery?
I forget where it was.
Yeah, it was from the base because it got attacked there. So actually, I would have preferred the 2 shots on the artillery there.
Yeah,
Right.
I would have liked to see maybe B-copter and anti-air here, and then hope to get a strong punish on the tanks and the anti-air tanks and B-copters in the middle. So it was possible.
I also just noticed that the tank, QQQ's tank on the right, can actually get a shot off on the anti-air
That's
if it wants
true.
to.
Yeah, that would
You
be
know,
that
sorry,
would
go
help
ahead.
a lot.
I was just gonna add, actually, Black Hole's mech is gonna get a free shot on the artillery, which is devastating.
No, the Archie is gonna get refreshed.
Oh, sorry, and
So
then it hits the mech. Sorry, I am like too many moves.
It is Eagle we're
yeah,
talking about.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
to like consider. I don't blame you.
Yeah, yeah.
Missing things.
Forgot he
Just
hadn't popped his super yet.
Ego just kind of breaks the rules of the normal game.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Tank is moving in there.
So Kiryu actually did the good job of optimizing the plays. Oh, I actually think QQQ might manage to pull this back to being even because they already did a good job of using what they had so far. And you know, it's kind of surprising, but they're probably gonna get back to even economy or even army value on the next turn, or at the end of this turn.
It's impressive if he's gonna pull that off.
Yeah, it is. Like actually though, so I do think a big part of that was Hamplmann failed to one hit KO the 5 HP tank, and that let the RD survive at full health, which hurt him a lot.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
going for lots of crippling attacks. I do like this because, like, crippling your opponent's firepower makes it very hard for them to attack. And you know, Quququ's getting, like, Hamplmann did the attack first, but Quququ's getting to capture stuff in the top right before Hamplmann gets to do it. Why did he resign? Why? Why?
No.
Unexpected.
Redo grand finals.
Why did he resign?
Oh no.
I mean, that was actually still a really even game. Like, he did a great job of pulling it back and then resigned. Oh, that's so sad.
Oh man.
Like maybe oh, I guess he got tilted from, you know, from losing a bunch of stuff, but he was actually in a decent position and he just didn't follow up on it enough. Like, wow, okay, well played to both sides, definitely. That's a good game.
Agreed. That was pretty well played indeed. I can actually kind of see why he resigned in that. Like being hit by a devastating power like that it often feels quite demoralizing.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just you gotta never give up, never surrender. But I guess a lot of people don't really do that.
Yeah, the more I watch this game, the more I realize like how strong, how far mental toughness will carry you, in terms of like just playing through bad positions to eke out a victory.
Right, sometimes you can actually still pull it off, even if it looks bad.
At least you can win on time. That's always a thing that can happen.
True, although considering both of them were sitting at over 15 minutes, it's not something that was going to happen fast.
True, yeah. Well, okay, GG. I guess the victory goes to Hamplmann, or well played Eagle Mirror, well executed strategy.
Yeah, we got ourselves a champion.
Great, good game.
Yeah, congratulations to Hamplmann. All right, Chris, are you here? What's up, man? Okay, so Chris is maybe not here at the moment. He is muted, so maybe he could unmute himself if he hears this. But yeah, so thank you everybody for entering and watching this tournament. This has been a really great time. So expect more live tournaments in the future as like we figure out how the live tournament system translates best to our type of server and our type of game. So yeah, there are growing pains along the way, but I think that we can all agree that like the games were fun, the commentary was excellent, and so yeah, I've just been really happy to have been joined by some very quality people and pulling this together. So yeah, first of all, thanks to our commentators, Coilus and Zeronix.
Thanks for having us around.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thanks to all the other commentators that we had on. Off the top of my head, it was Jay and Shulk and Red Halo and Chris. Extra special thanks to Chris for pulling together all the stream delays. Thank you to Portable Fridge for coming up with the idea and then being our TO. And so yeah, we'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna hang up and let Chris end his stream when he realizes that the stream is over. So yeah, peace everyone.
Thanks.